Namaskar. Welcome to this session. We are carrying out the study of the fabulous topic of Samskaras, and therein we considered Mooladhara, Vritti, Vasana, Samskar, Swadhisthana, Vritti, Vasana, Samskar, Manipuraka, Vritti, Vasana, Samskars, Anahata, Vritti, Vasana, Samskars. Now we are going to the fifth plexus, that is Vishuddhi Chakra. So we will consider Vishuddhi Chakra, Vritti, Vasana and Samskara. And the most outstanding thing about the Vishuddhi Chakra, Vasana, Samskara is that these are certain samskars which we earn. Not that we have, but we earn, we can earn, we may earn. Like the case of Manipuraka Samskaras and Vasanas, if you recall, I said these are newest Vasanas we can generate, we can stack up, we can build up, we can collect. So, Vasanas are not something that we have it as common man feels it, thinks that way. But there are Vasanas and Samskaras which we can create, generate, stack up, build up and evolve. So that was the case of Manipuraka Vritti Vasana Samskara. And similarly, it is the case here about Vishuddhi. Like we can develop some interest in certain realms. So know the difference between having interest and developing interest. Of course, we will be having interest because of our Purva Karma, and it is also possible because it is Karma Yoni. Like we can have kriyamaana karma, we can also generate Vritti, Vasana, Samskaras. So, Vishuddhi Chakra is something of that nature that you may have developed it, but then it manifests at some stage in life. Like it so happens a person has no interest in a particular subject, a discipline, such as Dharma Shastra, Yoga Shastra, Vedanta Shastra, Sahitya Shastra. But at a point in time, the person starts developing, not being a child prodigy. The person develops, and these vasanas manifest at a particular stage in life. So maybe one will identify the inclination for music and arts and literature and Dharma Shastra, Karma Shastra, Yoga Shastra, Adhyatma Shastra, Moksha Shastra. And these are based on some sort of study carried out in previous lives. Like somebody might have been a good astrologer in previous life or one of the previous lives. And at some stage of life in this particular incarnation, that might be triggered and it might surface while a person is at the age of 30, 40, 50. Until that time, such potentials are not discovered or explored, they are not actualized, but they actualize in particular stage in life. So this is called Saraswat Vaasanas. We carry out certain serious studies. We may carry out serious studies in this life, and so the samskars will be built up. Or we might have carried out certain serious studies, formal studies of particular discipline in some previous life, and they will be Saraswat Vaasanas. The word Saraswat Vaasanas, it comes from Saraswati, the goddess of wisdom. So one who is Saraswati Upasaka, in the sense studying a particular discipline or branch of knowledge, then that is called Saraswata Vritti. So there is some formal study, formal education, deep study, and that is called Vyaasanga in vernacular. So even in this life we can develop this Vyaasanga, and we can commence our study of, say, science of music, history of music, or literature called Sahitya Shastra, or Yoga Shastra, or Adhyatma Shastra. Maybe this might be the first time. But when we carry out a very serious study, formal, informal study, then it builds up, structures up particular kind of vritti, vasana and samskara. So it is always in the realm of Shastras, and therefore one starts making a pursuit in those Shastras. To name few of them, there is something called as Dharma Shastra, Adhyatma Shastra, Moksha Shastra, Bhautika Shastra, Vedanta Shastra, Nyaya Shastra, Yoga Shastra, Sahitya Shastra, Natya Shastra, Sangeeta Shastra. So there are so many Shastras. That means various disciplines, various sciences. And one can carry out very formal, informal studies, serious studies, and that will structure up samskars. Or one might have carried out such studies in some previous life or lives, and therefore one starts carrying out those studies and continue the studies in this life. So as just now told you, Veda Shastra, Vedanga Shastra, Vedanta Shastra, Nyaya Shastra, Dharma Shastra, Sahitya Shastra, Vyakaran Shastra, Itihas Puran Shastra, Artha Shastra, Sangeeta Shastra, Natya Shastra, Yoga Shastra. There are so many Shastras. And when one goes for very formal, informal education in these disciplines, these are developed, and they are called Saraswata Vaasanas, Saraswata Samskaras, or in the terminology of yoga they are called Vishuddhi Samskaras, Vishuddhi Chakra Samskaras. It is quite significant because it is Vishuddhi. If you look at the structure of Vishuddhi Chakra in the Tantra show the Vishuddhi Chakra. It is 16 petaled plexus, and the 16 petals are studded with the varnas, such as we know that the vowels which are a, I, u, ru, lu, a, I, o, a. So they are the 16 petals to Vishuddhi Chakra. So it would be having letters such as am, im, om, aim, ayem, om, aum, aham. So, and all literature will be taking recourse to Swara Varna Mala, Swara Varnas, vowels and consonants. Because without that you won't have words, and without words you won't have Shastras. So all the Shastras have words, and the words are composed by akaradi kshahakaranta swara varnas. And for the utterance purpose, these vowels are important. Write down a word in English with no vowel at all. They will not be able to pronounce. To be uttering that word, there must be at least one vowel in the word. Vowel-less word is not oratory word. There can be no oration of it. And Vishuddhi Chakra has these vowels, and therefore it is rightly called Saraswat Vaasanas, Samskara and Vritti. Because all the Vritti, Vasana, Samskaras, particularly here that is being mentioned, the Vyaasanga, formal study needs study of Shastras, hearing of Shastras. You must hear the Shastras or you must read the Shastras, study the Shastras. So they will be all made up of words, and no word is without a vowel. And Vishuddhi Chakra provides the vowels. And very rightly, these are called Vishuddhi, Vritti, Samskara, Vasana. So these are attitudes based on some serious studies in past life and previous life. It provides some attitudes and gravities. Like physicist of a life would be definitely leaning towards study of physics in the following life. If the study is very, very serious, very profound, again it will be physicist who is manifesting in following life. So whatever Shastras are studied very formally, seriously, profoundly, the Vasanas are left behind and they manifest in following life as Saraswat Vaasanas. Or somebody carrying out a study, very serious, very formal plus informal study of any Shastra, any subject, would definitely will have influence on the following life. And that's why they are called Saraswat Vaasanas or Saraswat Samskaras. These come by Saraswati Upasana in a form that some or the other Vidya is pursued very, very seriously. And that puts a lot of influence and gravity on the person's life and conduct. So like our formal education these days, and suppose we go for higher and higher education, we need to have fellowship and studentship, and we need to develop what we call as Vyaasanga, that we are obsessed with that subject, and with that obsession we really go for thorough study, constant study, continuous study, discussions about that Shastra, hearing about the Shastra, and we make all out efforts in pursuit of that particular discipline. It definitely influences the Vichara Shaili, the thought process. It definitely influences the conduct of life, activity of a person. It is because of these Saraswat Vaasanas. The point is, there is no language without words, and there is no word without artha pratyaya. There is no word without meaning and some cognitive imprints. And no word is without vowels and consonants. And no word is without a vowel and without a consonant. You cannot have a word which has no consonant at all, nor can you have a word without any vowel at all. So vowels are must, consonants are must, combination of the two is must. And Vishuddhi Chakra provides all the vowels whereby we can utter a word, and therefore we can collect vritti, vasana, samskar through the words. So, as I said in the beginning, that these vasanas can be generated, samskars can be generated. Embark upon now study of Adhyatma Shastra, Gita Shastra, Vedanta Shastra, Sankhya Shastra, Yoga Shastra, Moksha Shastra, Sant Sahitya Shastra, Dharma Shastra, Shruti Smruti Shastra, Ityas Puran Shastra. Once you develop and once you start rigorously, seriously studying these Shastras, you are going to collect these vasanas and samskars. And that's why I said in the beginning that these samskars can be earned. These samskars can be had, and also these samskars can be earned. So, that is how this Vishuddhi samskars are described. So, like we say, a man of letters, what does it mean? And these are literal letters, which are a, a, I, u, etc. These are literal letters called vowels, and for any pursuit of any Shastra, one needs to take recourse to words and literature. So by words and literature, one develops Vishuddhi samskars. And therefore, these are Vishuddhi samskars which are earned by very serious study, deep study, relentless study, and also audition in regards to that particular study. Now this Vishuddhi Chakra therefore has 16 petals because there are 16 vowels. So that is what I wanted to convey about Vishuddhi, Vritti, Chakra, Vaasana. And these vasanas always keep someone very studious, very learned, or to be learning. It is always in some discipline in a branch of knowledge. This has always to do something with a branch of knowledge. So that is the significant aspect of these Vritti, Samskar, Vasanas. And technically, let me tell you that this chakra is under the influence of Udana Vayu and Udana Prana. And of course the prana, because it is just above the heart region. And oratory organ is a very vital, important organ. So that is all that you need to know as information about Vishuddhi Chakra. Now we are going to proceed to the last of the Shat Chakras, the sixth chakra called Agnya Chakra. So Agnya Chakra Vritti Samskara Vaasana is to be understood. But that we will be doing in our next session. Enough for the time being. Namaskar all of you.